All right, we are here.
Well, so many teams that we're going to talk about tonight are reaching their season highs. 9/11 might be a season low for us. Whoa.
Whoa.
Welcome to Echo Town.
We're here. That was such amateur hour.
Dude, what do you think people expect at this point? Come on. So welcome, everybody. Week 3.
Thank you.
We're getting there pretty quickly. It's crazy.
Hello. I don't know. I was having so much trouble earlier.
Oh, no.
Let's try that. Oh. Hello.
Oh, so we're good. That might have been old. Oh, no.
Just 1 year, that's it?
Well, one less than that, even one semester. Oh, no.
All right. That might be good. Hello. Okay. Shall we come out and go back in again?
I don't know.
And gone.
I can read their lips.
I think this is it. I
Is
think
it?
we found
good,
a winner.
back, good. Everyone, okay. I think we're good now. So who knows how much...
What season is this?
Season 1 is their first show. How else could we possibly explain all of our misfortune?
Oh, thank you.
You're the best.
No, almost. Thanks, Amy.
Thanks, you're the best.
All right,
What a
guys.
support crew we have,
Yeah.
right? I tell you what.
So
Mike's fiance was nice enough to make us dinner.
Yes.
Pat Flynn's working hard, always keeping us on track and on task. And we just have a simple job of sitting here and doing the show and just try to be on time when we can't do it.
We can't. We really can't. All right. Anyways. So thank you. We're Mike and Justin. I'm Mike. He's Justin. Thanks for tuning in. We have lots of regionals and districts to talk about. We're going to recap kind of stuff that happened last week. We're going to count down the top 25 teams.
I don't know. Like JVN tweeted about it. Maybe I've just been kind of out of it. But cheesecake thing is really caught on. Chief Duff. I don't know where it came from or what they're talking about.
So cheesecake is.
You know? Oh
no.
Oh,
But somebody explained it to me sometime. I don't know when. Sometime. It's something like.
I understand cheesecake is a food.
That
right?
I understand.
Oh boy. Anyway.
Oh, spelled. All right, here we go. If you'd like to get a hold of us during the show, you can get. We should definitely not put this up on our website. You can get a hold of us through mikeandjustin@gmail.com. You can tweet at us at FRC Top 25. You can Snapchat us at FRC Top 25. Or you can text us at that number right there, 585-326-3030.
I'm turning on Talkatone as we speak.
Talkatone, come on. And
Unfortunately, Talkatone has stopped.
what?
It is unfortunate, isn't it?
Well, you can
Yeah,
you can message us there. We'll look at them throughout the show, and we can answer questions. You can do all sorts of stuff through that.
We take a break at the 15 and 5, where we like to have short discussions about topics that you think are interesting or topics you bring to our attention. So if you have any things that you think would be cool to talk about, send us an email or send us a text at that number, and put your name and your team number so we can give you some credit for a great question.
Yeah,
and we'll be happy to talk about it.
Sounds good. All right, let's do it. Up first, I got it. You wanna take turns eating?
Who starts? Me? No, you start.
All right, the Land Down Under hosted their first official FRC event, and it was one for the ages. The event was filled with some Australian flair and character. Sorry, just trying to get that out of the way. Australian flair and character, but also some incredible robots. The event featured teams from Hawaii, Taiwan, Singapore, China, and of course, Australia. After 12 qualification matches and an average of an even 70, 46-13, Barker College seeded number 1. They did so without any auto or co-op points. Interesting. Demonstrating their mastery of stacking. With their first pick, they chose 31-32, the Thunder Down Under, and added 53-33 to create an all-Aussie number 1 alliance.
The Aussie Alliance would advance through the quarters and semis as the top-scoring alliance, setting up a showdown in the finals with the multinational alliance of 359, the Hawaiian Kids from the United States, 42-53, TAS Robotics from Taiwan, and 56-01, Qingdao Eastern C Team from China. The number 1 alliance put up 132 points to take the first match, and the number 2 alliance put up 134 points to take the second match and set up a great final.
Both teams were able to make tall stacks, and when all the dust settled, the number 2 seed had pulled off the upset with a score of 113-104. Congrats to both alliances on a great competition, and congrats as well to Team 3008, the Falcons, on their Regional Chairman's Award. So there's, I think, a few teams we're going to talk about, or a couple teams at least, from the Australian Regional. And it's awesome, man. I'm so excited that they got a regional over there.
Yeah, we were texting during it, and I was texting some other people too about just how cool it was to be able to kind of get into bed late on Sunday or Saturday, whenever it was, at midnight, and just watch the elimination rounds from Australia. It was so cool. It looked like they were having a great time. Like we talked about, the Australian flair and character, the people were really having a great time. It just looked like an all-around awesome event. So
yeah, and just like here, we'll mention it in one of the teams we talk about later, but hear that it was some of the greatest matches to date in Recycle Rush and just some of the most intense matches. So that's awesome. I guess I never really realized how many teams were in Australia.
A lot.
I know you hear like it's a first is a worldwide kind of thing, but it's really cool that you guys got a regional. So very, very cool. All right, so up next, the Los Angeles Regional. You got it?
Yep. So California hasn't switched to districts just yet, but the amount of events in the state is impressive. California Power was on display again this weekend at the Long Beach Arena with almost a division's worth of teams, 66 total, set to battle it out. Such a large event meant only 9 matches to prove who was going to be the number 1 seed. It shouldn't have been much of a shock to see the Beach Bots 330 in the top spot on Saturday afternoon. They selected fellow California Power 973 and added 1515 to round out their alliance.
The smooth sailing was ever a thing. It was what the number 1 alliance did in LA. The Beach Bots and Company went unmatched to the quarterfinal and semifinal rounds, easily advancing to the finals at the top as a top scoring alliance. There, they would face a number 3 alliance of 1197, 5124, and 2443. The number 3 alliance showed up to play, putting up an incredible 144 in their first match. That would be a winning score at most events, but it wasn't the case in LA. The number 1 alliance countered that score with a 154 and won the second match to give them the win. Great job to the number 1 alliance, and congratulations as well to Team 207, the Metal Crafters, on their first ever Regional Chairman's Award.
So it's good to see the Beach Bots kind of continue to find success, and they're cool looking robot with the 3-can
Was that
grabber.
awesome? We'll talk about it later, maybe.
Yeah,
but
perhaps.
perhaps. But man, it was that's cool. That robot aside, but congrats to Team 207, man. Do you remember our first Chairman's Award back in 2005 and just how exciting that was? I mean, it still is exciting, obviously, but just that first win is something else.
Yep. I'll just kind of. I'm not afraid to admit it. I was holding that big trophy. My right leg, it was shaking a little bit from excitement. Yeah, it was awesome.
Cool. Right. The Orlando Regional.
So the University of Central Florida played host to 64 teams looking to cement their World Championship qualifications at the Orlando Regional this past weekend. The best way to start on that path is to seed number 1, and it was 1523 Mars who were able to pull it off. 4451 Robots Garage and 4471 Spartrons, joined them. The Alliance immediately clicked, and their advancement to the final set up a showdown between them and the number 2 seed of 29-74, 7-44, and 41-18.
In the finals, the scores and the drama seemed linked as both rose incredibly. The first match of the final saw the then regional high score of 166 as the number 2 seed was able to get a robot and container set in auto as well as cap 2 4 stacks in the final second simultaneously. The high score didn't last long as the Alliance was able to better their match 1 score en route to their regional win. Congrats to both alliances on a great final.
And another Kling Bling this year goes to 29-74, who added a Regional Chairman's Award to their regional win. Look out for them at Peachtree.
So many Kling Blings this year.
I know.
Isn't that awesome?
It is awesome. It just proves that so many teams are good at building robots and are doing awesome things in their community.
Yeah, I feel like it used to be like here and there. We used to talk about it last year, but now it comes up quite often. So very cool. Congrats to all teams around. Up next, we're going to head over to the Greater Kansas City Regional. 54 teams competed this past weekend from Kansas and Missouri, trying to bring home banners to their respective schools. With over 120 average points, Team Driven 1730 was able to take the top spot and picked 1806 SWAT and 1777 Viking Robotics to create a formidable alliance as they advanced to the finals as a top-scoring alliance after both the quarterfinal and semifinal rounds.
This year's game rewards consistency, and in the finals, nothing else matters. The number 6 alliance of 1785, 1723, and 1710, perhaps playing with a sense of calm as being the underdog really adds pressure, were able to put up 134 points twice in a row to take down the heavily favored, at least on paper, number 1 alliance. Congratulations to all teams as the finals featured 6 great machines. Good luck to all teams going forward, and a special congratulations to 1710, the Ravonics Revolution, who won the Regional Chairman's Award.
Very cool.
Another clean play.
Yeah, so I know every year is different, but just teams from Kansas and Missouri, competed there. Not too many teams from outside that little hub, but a lot going on this past weekend and in weeks to come.
I'm gonna apologize for eating on the air, I guess, but if I don't eat, I'll die. So.
I've been muting us back and forth so we're not chewing into the both of us.
That's good, but still, I'm sorry.
But still. It's okay. Thanks for dealing with us.
So we're going to continue through our regional recaps here. Mike's going to talk about GTR
East. So we didn't forget our Canadian friends this week. We're sorry again. We don't know what happened last week. But many eyes were on the GTR East as 2056 brought their machine to the field for the first time with the streak on the line. We'll talk about that more later, perhaps. They got things off to a great start and seeded first after 10 matches. They selected DM High Voltage and the FSS Cyber Falcons to shoot for another regional win. The Alliance was far and away the highest scoring throughout the quarterfinal and semifinal rounds and easily advanced to the finals.
In the finals, the number 2 seed of 1325, 1241, and 1305 knew they had a fight on their hands but weren't going down without a fight. Both alliances played very well with combined scores of over 300 in both matches. However, the final outcome favored the number 1 alliance in both matches to give them the win. Congrats to both alliances, as well as a little extra also to 1325 Inverse Paradox on their Regional Chairman's Award. Another Kling Bling.
Another one.
Man.
So many. I got it. So we're going to head over to the Alamo Regional. With many of the Texas powerhouse teams taking off this event, it was an opportunity for some of the teams often overshadowed to make a name for themselves and make the rest of us remember the Alamo. Well done. 60 teams competed this weekend in San Antonio, and after just 9 matches, 1296 Full Metal Jackets claimed the top spot, and they wasted little time picking up 2468. Can you say it that way, or you should always say it 2468?
2468.
Oh, sorry. 2468, Team Appreciate.
Was I muted?
You were. Sorry. And 2415, the Wildcats to round out the alliance that have all been in the top 25 at one point or another.
Well, this event was filled with teams from around the Southwest. It was a team from the Southeast that would take the number 2 alliance to the finals. Team 233, the pink team from Florida, selected 1817 and 2158, 2 Texas teams, and fought hard in match 1 of the finals, falling to the number 1 seed by just 2 points, 149 to 147. Sometimes when you fight that hard, it's tough to keep fighting. With a sharp score reduction in match 2 by the 2 seed, the number 1 alliance was able to take the win.
Great matches were played all weekend, as it was clear that most teams were on their second event playing Recycle Rush. Congratulations to all teams in advancing, as well as 1868 Space Cookies on their Regional Chairman's Award. Very cool. The Space Cookies.
They've got quite a few Chairman's Awards as well.
Do it? Quite a bit. On to Utah. Over 50 teams headed to the Maverick Center this past weekend for the 2015 Utah Regional. After an even 10 matches, a team from Katy, Texas earned the top spot. 624 was over 5 times better than all the other teams in Autonomous and definitely deserved top billing. They selected 1619 Upper Creek Robotics as well as 4334 the Alberta Tech Alliance. How did that happen? That's awesome. To create an impressive number 1 seed. In the quarterfinal and semifinal rounds, this alliance has put up an incredible 178 points on an average and advanced to the finals.
The alliance making the trip to the finals as well was the number 2 seed, made up of 21-22, 32-30, and 34-05. With the number 1 alliance consisting of teams from Texas, Colorado, and Canada, the number 2 seed had the house advantage as it featured 2 teams from Utah and the alliance captain from Idaho. The place was rocking as both alliances were making stacks on stacks on stacks, and with a score of 174 to 164, the number 1 alliance took the first match. Believe it or not, both alliances managed to push a little harder and increase their scores.
Which meant for the number 2 seed, it just wasn't going to be enough despite some incredible match play. Congrats to the teams on both alliances as well as 2486, the Coconuts, on the Regional Chairman's Award.
You're not the first person who made that mistake that weekend, I guarantee it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
How about the score in the finals there, though? 174 to 164. No offense, the Utah regional, maybe not, a regional that typically has incredible matches like that, but those are as high as I saw anywhere else in the world.
I mean, it's close. I mean, it wasn't like a blowout. I mean, both teams were, what was it, 170 to 160, 170s to 160s? I mean, that's good. Well done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. All right, I got you. On to the New York City Regional. 66 teams played a record low 8 qualification matches. That's like championship style right there. 66 teams. Anyway, sorry. 8 matches to determine who would pick first at the New York City version of Selection Sunday. The team ended up being 34-19 after showing solid ability with totes and containers. They picked 3171 Pride and 4571 Rambots to round out their alliance. The number 1 seed did well through quarters, but got tripped up in the semis, allowing the number 2 seed and the number 3 seeds to advance to the finals. One of the few events this year that didn't feature the number 1 seed in the finals.
The number 2 seed of 694, 354, and 271 brought a 95-point average into the finals, whereas the number 3 alliance of 1884, 2344, and 1796 brought a 93-point average in the finals, so the finals were expected to be very tight. In the first match of the finals, the number 2 seed executed, as there was a few mistakes made by the number 3 seed that gave them the momentum. In the next match, the 2 seed picked up their game, but the score wasn't enough as the 3 seed was able to win with a final score of 113 to 102.
And congrats to the winning teams as well as 375 Robotic Plague and on their Regional Chairman's Award.
So it was nice in New York City to see our friends 354 back in the finals.
G-House Pirates, yeah.
As well as Stipulse 694.
Stipulse like High Pulse?
Stipulse like High Pulse. But I was really kind of like 8 matches. I think I'd be pretty upset by that. Mm-hmm. Like other regionals had equal number of teams, but were able to fit in 9 or 10. It just seems really low.
Mm-hmm. All right, on to the districts. We're going to start with the Indiana district, the Kokomo event. After talking about some of these huge regionals, we now move into smaller district events, and we start with Kokomo. 32 teams got in 12 matches, and when it was all said and done, 234 Cyber Blue was ranked number 1. They selected 135 and 3865 with going to the finals on their minds. They're number 2 after quarterfinals, but found another gear and bumped their average score up to 142 to qualify for the finals.
Also qualifying for the finals was rookie-led number 7 alliance consisting of 5402, 3494, and 4982, as they were able to put up a 105.67, very specific, for their average to have a shot at gold. In the finals, the number 2 seed fought hard, but the seasoned experience of the number 1 seed paid off, as they were able to put up scores of 142 and 152 to take the win. Congrats
to these teams, and more praise for teams 135 and 5402. 135 got some cling bling for winning the event in the District Chairman's Award, and in 5402, who went to the finals and picked up the Rookie All-Star Award. So congrats to all teams.
So when I wrote that was really something that doesn't happen often. Right? A rookie team going to the finals, which doesn't happen often, and then winning Rookie All-Star as well. So it's pretty cool.
Very cool. Lots of cling bling. You get some cling bling.
All right. I didn't skip one, right?
I don't think so.
So now moving to the New England district, the Dartmouth event. Just 27 teams took part in 12 qualification matches in North Dartmouth this weekend, which led to a lot of fast turnarounds and lots of good matches. Teams got the opportunity to play with and against each other often, scoring 40 points higher than the next best team. 1519 took the number 1 spot, with Autonomous setting them apart, along with lots of co-op and stacking skills. They formed a number 1 seed that consisted of them, 230 and 4908.
The impressive play for 1519 and company continued in the playoffs, where they averaged 143 points in the quarterfinal round and an impressive 169 points in the semifinal round. Joining them in the finals was the number 2 seed of 246, 125, and 97, who put up 122 in the semifinal round to advance to the finals.
In the finals, pushing hard to overcome the power of the top seed, the number 2 alliance faltered a bit. Yet the number 1 alliance remained consistent and were able to put up scores of 154 and 165 to take the district win. Congrats to those teams, as well as 2877 Lagerbots on their district chairman's award. We've talked about them before.
I think we remember the Liger part of it. Yeah. The Lagerbots. Is it gotta be Napoleon Dynamite related? It's gotta be. Or was Liger a thing before? I think Liger was a thing before Napoleon Dynamite,
really?
But I think really. Maybe not.
No, I'm not that smart.
Are you leaving? Okay, bye.
Thank you.
Love you. See ya. All right. So, on to the New England District, the Pine Tree event. All 31 teams played 12 matches this year at the Pine Tree event, and 45-64 Orange Chaos seeded first overall, looking to improve on their quarterfinal performance from last year. To help them, they chose rookie team 5687 and second-year team 5265 to create a young but exciting number 1 seed.
The number 1 alliance averaged a perfect 100 in the quarterfinal round of the playoffs and were able to increase their average in the semifinal round to 126. Also increasing their scores, however, was the number 3 alliance of 58, 133, and 3609. Teams 58 and 133 have played nearly 6 times as many matches as the number 1 alliance combined, and it's over the course of all their seasons. As it was young guns versus seasoned veterans in the finals.
The progression of points that the number 1 alliance was able to do was like watching a team mature right before our eyes. They went from 100 in the quarterfinal round to 126 in the semifinal round to over 140 in the finals. The number 3 alliance just couldn't match that growth and giving the number 1 seed the win in 2 matches. Congrats to all teams, as well as 2648 who won the district chairman's award.
So that was really cool to see, in my opinion, that number 1 alliance of 45-64 was a 3-year team, a rookie team, and a second-year team take down a team that 58 and 133 have been around forever.
Yep.
That was really cool.
So we just talked about 2468, 2486, and what was that last one?
2648. So apparently, if you have 2, 4, 6, and 8
I got confused.
in your team number, you had a good weekend.
I guess so. Hey, dyslexics are people poo. Colin shirt. All right. Well, we're going to move on over to the First in Michigan Woodhaven event. So many great Michigan teams took the field this weekend, many for the second time. And after 12 matches and an astonishing 604 container score, 10-23, the Bedford Express claimed the pole position. Helping them to the finish line would be 3604, Goon Squad, and 4405, the Adams Family.
I like that one, too.
ATOMS. Oh, sorry. There you go. Now we'll show our ignorance a bit here and say that I'm not familiar with those 2 teams, but it just goes to show the strength of the teams in Michigan.
It was a bit surprising, perhaps, not following the event match per match, to see 27 and 469 able to get together in the number 3 alliance along with 3542. But this was a dense event full of solid teams. However, wouldn't you know it that it was the number 3 alliance that would advance to the finals to face 1023 and company. 1023, having already won an event this year, kept the alliance calm and focused in the finals, and scores ballooned to 182 and 162 to give them the win over the number 3 seed.
Congrats to all teams, as well as 280 TNT on their district chairman's award. And I know we have somebody in the chat. Oh, Nerd Girl. Congratulations. Dino.
Right?
Totally. Congrats. Thanks for tuning in.
You know, it'd be kind of cool, but maybe kind of annoying at the same time. If like teams, maybe at least in the finals, to have like entrance music, right? So like as you were introduced into the finals, like you could choose what song you would play.
That's pretty cool.
That would be kind of cool.
That would be like the next step, you know? Maybe at least at like championship, but that could be like the next step.
Yeah. That would be awesome.
Because they do. I think they have taken it to that step and like kind of introduced teams something like that. But that would be kind of cool.
Yep.
All right, first in Michigan, Gull Lake event. There was a lot of star power in Woodhaven, but the Gull Lake event served more than as a proving ground for teams trying to make a name for themselves in Michigan. Winning the district event is a good way to do that. The number one alliance, led by 43-81 Twisted Devils, along with 28-34 and 56-75, looked to make that a reality.
Oh, excuse me. In the playoffs, the number one alliance led the pack, but two other alliances were within 5 points of their average, and one of them, the number two alliance of 34-52, 36-56, and 51-52, played well enough to make it to the finals to take a shot at the win. The finals at Gull Lake didn't feature high scores, but they did feature close scores, with a container falling off a stack that could have made all the difference. The number one alliance, however, played relatively mistake-free and were able to win two close matches and take the win.
Kudos to those teams, as well as big congrats to 36-41, who picked up the District Chairman's Award. All right, almost there. Four more. Traverse City.
The Traverse City event has been a staple in the district model. What district is it? FIM! Since 2011, and played host to some great teams and incredible matches. This week, 40 teams look to keep up that tradition and try to take home the coveted blue banner. After 12 matches, 245, the Adambots took the top spot, and they added 17-11 and 56-92 to their alliance. For a tough game, there seems to be a lot of rookies finding success.
In the playoffs, the number one alliance was the top-ranked team through both the quarterfinal and semifinal round after being ranked third in the quarterfinal round. I'm going to sneeze. It's going to happen.
Just do it, man.
The number two alliance of 862 Lightning Robotics, 36-88 and 51-83 moved up to second and earned a shot at the top alliance in their finals. Scores over 100 weren't uncommon this weekend at Traverse City, but the number one alliance was able to do it twice in a row to be the number two seed, 114 to 86 and 111 to 83. Very consistent match play from both alliances. Great job.
245 was the number one seed, won the event, and congrats to them for picking up the District Chairman's Award. A great turnaround for 245 after a semifinal exit at Howell.
We're going to head over to the Pacific Northwest District at the Wilsonville event. Wilsonville saw 33 teams competing for the top spot, but it was 26-35 Lake Monsters who rose above the rest. They chose 36-74 and 29-15 to fight with them, and they began to play well together instantly as they took the top spots in both the quarterfinal and semifinal rounds.
The number two alliance qualified for the semifinal round in fourth spot, but were able to advance to the finals by moving up again to the number two spot in the semifinal round, which meant it was the number one alliance who had to look across the field at 24-71, 14-25, and 9-57 in the finals.
It's been so evident this year that a constant tweaking of your process to find efficiency in the elimination rounds is the key to success. The number one alliance averaged just 85 in the quarterfinal round. They averaged 120 in the semifinal round and scored 134 and 140 points in the two finals matches to earn the district win. Congrats to those teams, as well as 35-74 High Techers on their District Chairman's Award.
Isn't that crazy for the improvements of that number one seed? 85 quarterfinals, 120 semifinals, and then 134 and 140.
I'm writing that down, yeah.
Incredible. All right, so we'll continue in the Pacific Northwest District at the Mount Vernon event. The Sunday finish gave the Mount Vernon event the Pacific Northwest spotlight this weekend as 30 teams played 12 matches on Selection Sunday, 1983. Skunkworks selected 13-18. 46-54 to join their top-ranked alliance. They came out of the gate swinging, put up 142 points in the first round, but not to be outdone, the number two alliance of 36-63, 49-11, and 46-54 were right behind them.
The number two alliance put up 133 in the quarterfinal round and 113 in the semifinal round, second only to the number one alliance. This set up a finals in which the number two alliance looked to overtake the number one alliance for the first time. Like we've seen a lot this week, pushing too hard sometimes lead to mistakes, and the number two alliance was only able to put up scores of 64 and 45, which gave the win to the number one alliance, who definitely earned it with scores of 162 and 128.
Congrats to all the teams in the finals, as well as 29-80, the Whibley Island Wildcats, who picked up the District Chairman's Award. That's a good team name right there.
We say that so often, but it's so cool. Teams are just so creative, yeah.
Well, I don't know. Like, I think there are a lot of, we do say that a lot, but I think that there's also a lot of teams we talk about that we don't really say that. The Whibley Island Wildcats is a freaking cool name.
I wonder if that's like their school, you know? Well, 2980.
Are they the Wildcats?
The Whibley Wildcat Wrestling Club. I don't know what that is, but I wonder if that's like their school name, Whibley.
Whibley Island.
Cool. And last but not least, we head to the Mard District, the one and only from this week, the Springside. How do you say it?
Springside Chestnut Hill event.
And what team is from there?
Oh, it's 1218. Springside Chestnut Hill Academy.
That's from 2004, right?
Yeah.
So we got it. Yeah. I knew it.
We're going to talk about that right now.
We should have these little sound bites when we talk about those teams.
We should, absolutely.
Yeah.
We say that a lot. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things in this show we should be doing.
Oh my gosh, totally. Last but not least, this week we come to Mard District in the Springside Chestnut Hill event in Philadelphia. Woo, woo. After 12 matches, 225 Tech Fire earned the top spot and selected the event host 1218 and added 204 to create a strong top seed. In the playoffs, they consistently added to their average, but the other constant was the teams behind them in the rankings.
The number 4 Alliance, we haven't talked much about number 4 seeds, was third and then second behind the number 1 Alliance, which earned 17-12, 43-73, and 39-74, a trip to the finals where maybe they could pass the number 1 seed. The first match was incredibly close. At the final score, or the final buzzer, with a score of 80-77, the number 1 Alliance was able to keep their advantage.
In the second match, number 1 Alliance did what most only wished to and saved their best match when they needed it most. They put up 153 to take the win. Congrats to all teams, as well as special congrats to 708 Hatters Robotics on their District Chairman's Award.
Whew. 17 events. Man.
That was a lot.
Busy weekend.
It was busy.
I'm going to finish my french fries now.
Go for it. Want to get some pizza? So we're going to throw up our text line number again. We're going to take a quick break here. We have some things that we want to talk about, but we would like to hear from you guys as well. So feel free to text us.
There was one texter earlier that...
Did you see it?
I can hear you chew the pizza, LOL. Sorry. Oh, man, where was that text? Did you delete it?
Uh-uh.
I could have sworn somebody said something about it was their first time watching. That dead air, though.
Shout out to 2386 watching us tonight.
Oh, there it was right there, maybe. First time listener. Is this the list of top 25 teams or just for this week's regionals? Yes. So this is a change from what we've done in the past. So this top 25 is just for teams that competed this week, not all the teams that have competed thus far. So that was we always kind of miss that aspect of it, the thought that this could be somebody's first time watching.
Yeah. We write down introductions, but then we kind of just blast over them.
Yeah, because we're usually 20 minutes late.
Yeah.
So keep in mind, we are looking for some good discussion topics. Like Mike said, we do take a break after the 15th team, or before the 15th team and before the 5 teams. So before the top 15, and then again before the top 5. We'll talk about topics that you guys text us. So that'd be cool.
Just clicked on an ad.
That's a mistake. I just had deja vu. We've had an ad discussion on here before. But the first one we're talking about is just the improvement of scores, and I think it's a nature of the lack of defense. Whereas before, teams would develop a strategy that would get them a lot of points, and then the other team would counter it with the defensive strategy that would maybe lower the points, and then it would kind of go up and down, up and down. But this year, with no real defense, it's really been cool to kind of track the success that alliances have had in building. Because really, it's really no different than a manufacturing system, right? A manufacturing line. We're trying to create these stacks. Is it better to have you stack, me stack, and the third team stack? Everyone just kind of does their own thing. Is it worth we make stacks, you do litter, you do containers, all sorts of different computations and variations on that. So it's really cool to watch how teams change what they've been doing and the improvement of the scores.
So my thought on that too was I don't know if you hit on it. Sorry, I was texting some people back. The improvement of scores, like we were talking about a couple of times there, from quarterfinals to semifinals to finals. It's kind of creepy. Did you hit on that, or is that? I think that's something else you kind of were talking about, though. But it gives your alliance more time to work together, and I think you see that in years past and in games past where teams get better and you gel more as you go through eliminations, because now you're playing at that rate you're playing 5 up maybe 7th or 8th match together if you're in finals match 3. So obviously things are gonna get better, but this year especially with the no defense, you can really critique and maximize your potential of all robots. Yeah. And work together better and stuff. So
And I think what aspect of it I really like is the guarantee to 3 semifinal matches. I think that's really a chance where teams really start to bring it together. Like quarterfinals, you're kind of still learning kind of how things are, learning your strategy, learning what team does what best. But semifinals, those 3 matches leading into the finals, teams really start to gel, and whoever puts it together the most during those 3 matches inevitably finds success in the finals. So I have a question for you now.
Yes.
Well, how do you feel about the ranking system this year? Different than in years past, obviously. No wins and losses.
It's
or
definitely
the ranking system of the number 1 seed is the highest average, not based on wins losses.
I would like to. I mean, somebody could probably correlate it, but if you were to take, how many times does the number 1 alliance not have the best record if you were to look at wins and losses? You know what I mean? Like, if you were to look at the number 1 alliance with their qualification average score, what would be the correlation to wins and losses, and how would that be different? How would that shake the rankings differently? I'd like take any regional, take GTR East this past weekend, and somebody could do it. We don't obviously have the time right now to do it, but if you took the qualification average score, 2056 obviously being number 1, but then you went through match by match and looked at who actually won, who actually lost, and did that for all of the matches with all of the teams, how would the rankings look different?
Yeah, that would be interesting. Like, I know obviously 2056 never lost a match. I don't think I've looked at that on a few teams, and I even mentioned it in one of the teams we'll talk about later. So, like, I don't think they would change much at the top, but I think they would definitely change a lot more in the kind of in the middle, the crux of it.
Yeah. I'm just, I'd be curious. I mean, I don't know how easy it is to scrape Chief Delphi, but
yeah, I'm not.
That's not my
at all.
forte at all. But if somebody, even just as a comparison, like pick one regional,
Yeah.
and somehow do it.
So overall, though, do you like it or dislike it?
Yeah. Sorry. Back to your question. I like it in the sense that it is more than like your fate, quote unquote, for lack of a better word, lies more like you have more hope if you lose a match. Like if you lose a match, you could lose by 1 point, but if you still scored really good or whatever, then that it's not going to kill you, and you could still do really well.
Yeah, like example, when I was at Pittsburgh with 3015, we had some kind of rough matches before our last 2. So qualification match 57 and 68. So our last 2 before our last 1 scored 31 points and 33 points, and we went from 3rd to like 15th. But our last match we put up 155 with 1507 and 379, and that brought us back up to 3rd. So or 4th. So like it's pretty like just like you were saying, right? It's really cool to be able to, you have a couple rough matches, but if you get that 1 or 2 good matches, you can pull you right back up. So that aspect of it is really cool.
Mm-hmm. So I think that aspect I do like. I mean, but I do miss the drama, I guess, of like the wins losses. You can walk away from a match and still have hope, which is great. But winning that match too, and knowing you're rising to the top more than, I don't know. I see both sides, but it's definitely different.
I hope next year they stick with the average for qualifications, but go to wins losses for eliminations.
All eliminations.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because I think it's kind of tough that, especially in quarterfinals, you could be playing great, and you could probably make the argument that in the old system it still is the same, that if you have a rough match, you're probably going to lose. But if you have a rough match, you could be playing great all year. Have one speed control go bad in quarterfinal 1, put up a horrifically low number, and you're done. There's no recovering from that, right? A really low score in quarterfinals will kill you, or in semifinals will kill you.
Mm-hmm. Especially, yeah.
So I think that there's a lot more pressure in the elimination rounds now to be perfect and be really, really good than in years past. But I mean, that's kind of, it's no different than in real sports, right? Like in NASCAR, you can lead, 498 of 500 laps, blow an engine in the last lap, you lose,
exactly.
Right? And that's how life is. So it's interesting. I'm definitely, I like it a lot. I don't know.
You like
I do.
The average system?
The average system is awesome. I really do like that. And for the reason you said, it's being able to focus on just playing well as opposed to trying to win. Now the question is, could you have this system with defense, right? Could we go back to an old style game with this system and still have it be
I don't
okay?
think you can, because I think that really then plays into the whole what's it called, the bot that controls your match schedule. Do you know what am I talking about?
Match algorithm.
The algorithm, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can really, like, I mean, in years past, you're like, oh, the algorithm really screwed us this year. Like, oh, look at what the teams we have to face, but I think if you went, I don't know, maybe not. I don't even know what I'm talking about, but.
No, but like I think you're right, because it's been interesting this year to look at your match schedule. And you don't care at all who you're playing against; it's who you're playing with, right? Teams that didn't have a chance to play with 11-14 and 2056 at their events, right? GTR Central and GTR East. That's a huge disadvantage for them, right? Because 11-14 is going to put up a big number. So if you don't get to play with them,
so maybe in that sense it makes it, I don't know, it rounds it out for the teams that don't get to play with the powerhouse. Right. If you add in defense, is that what you're saying?
I don't know. I was kind of going in a different direction.
I'm sorry.
The defense
Continue.
thing. No, that's fine. I just didn't know. I think that the match algorithm is still important. It's just not so much who you're playing against, but who you're playing with. But I don't know if you can have a game.
Right. So if you never play, quote unquote, with the powerhouse, then you can say that. But if you add in the defense, then you can at least say, well, at least we could impede their score a little bit. But then you're kind of going back to the wins-loss.
Also, it's important to remember that like co-op is huge, right? So it does kind of matter who you're playing against as well, as far as that goes. Sure. Maybe you're not looking for a big name and consistent numbers and, we're going to get crushed by them. But you're also looking for a competent on the other side, at least one robot that can co-op with you. So it's not. I agree. It's not nearly as drastic as last year, worrying about who you're playing against. But co-op is still very important.
Right. I mean, and especially going to 2 decimal places. Yeah. Are any of the other tiebreakers really? I mean, is the competition? Yes, increases your score, but it's.
I think where it's more, the 2 decimal place thing is more important in the elimination rounds, because then you only have 2 matches, right?
Yeah.
So it's. Chances are teams are a lot closer.
But I'm saying these tiebreakers really mean nothing. It's how many times this year have 2 teams actually tied to the second decimal place?
Right, I agree with you. Rarely in qualifications, but in eliminations, I think it's happened more. Just because there's only 2 quarterfinal matches, only 2.
Sure.
So there's a good chance that we both put up 80 points or something along those lines.
I still think it's rare. I would like to know another question. I don't have answers for.
Happened at all.
I don't think it's happened at all, but. These tiebreakers, I think, are meaningless. To have that many, I mean, I guess you have a bunch every year, regardless. But to have that many, like, I just don't. Yeah. Besides your 40-point bonus, that's not getting you like. I don't know.
Well, this has been a good discussion. If you want to put in your thoughts on this discussion, you can text us. You got the text line up?
I've had it up. Yeah.
So you can text us your thoughts, and maybe we'll touch on this topic again at our 15 break or 5
one of the best discussions I think we've ever had.
It was a good one. Yeah,
it's up there.
All right, so you want to get into the top 25 here?
Let's do it.
So this is the week 3 top 25. Again, it's not cumulative. It's just for teams that competed this week. So you're going to see a whole new list of top 25 teams than last week. I didn't even look. How many voters did we have this week?
As we predicted, and as it's not as many obviously as our first week, but I think it was 50-ish.
Well, those that voted, certainly thank you. Thank you for that. And going forward,
those around you to vote. Yeah. It's
it's like there's 114 people in here. Look to the person to the left. Look to the person to the right. Both of those people did not vote. But that's okay.
It was 51.
Okay. So hopefully we'll see that number go up a little bit.
That's weird.
But that's okay.
Yeah, and we always see it go down a little bit. And
holy crap, I haven't missed anything. That's funny. Well, we were 10 minutes late, and we just did all of our recaps. So 17 events next time.
They did miss a very good discussion.
Yeah, that's okay.
So,
what have they been doing for the past hour?
It's been an hour. That's true. We've done nothing.
Oh, boy. Thanks, Nathan.
I had an hour. I did nothing.
All right,
here we go. Let's do it. So, again, congratulations to all these teams in the top 25. We had quite a few that just missed, and we can go over those at the end of the show. But, yeah. Here we go. Our 25th ranked team is team number 3604.
From Brownstown, Michigan, Woodhaven High School, it's the Goon Squad. Average qualification score of 64.71, and we're the winners of the Woodhaven event.
Well done.
Thank you.
The Goon Squad makes their debut in the top 25 after being able to build off their first outing at Southfield. This confident machine was able to help lead the number 2 seed to the finals against 1023. But were able to help 1023 this time and pick up their second medal of the season, this time a gold one.
No doubt we'll see 3604 at the Michigan State Championship, and we're looking forward to see how they progress this season. The key to their game seems to be solid, consistent play, and that seems to work well no matter what event you're at. Congratulations to Team 36.
The Goon Squad.
04.
First time in top 25.
Yeah.
So. Sweet deal. Oh, they did miss some pizza too.
That's true. Oh yeah, good looking pizza too.
All right, up next, our 24th. You good?
Nope.
Sorry, guys. No, wait. Is it right? Is this right? No.
That's okay.
I think I posed this right, but not the. All right, our 24th ranked team is team number 1325.
From Mississauga, Ontario, Canada. Gordon Graydon Memorial Secondary School. It's Inverse Paradox. Average qualification score of 69.65, and we're the finalists at the GTR East Regional.
1325 has made the GTR rounds at both Central and East, but it was this past weekend at East where they really shined. Ranking third is no short task at a Canadian event. At GTR East, they were able to control their own destiny a bit, being able to select from the number 2 spot instead of number 6 as they did in Central.
1325 hasn't done much auto or co-op, but they know their machine is built to make solid stacks, and not enough teams can say that this year. 1325 isn't done yet with their season or with their regional season, as they'll compete again in Windsor in a few weeks.
Very cool.
Team 1325, Inverse Paradox.
And welcome to the top 25.
Oh, we've had.
Are you sure?
No. But I think we have had them on before.
Is it Mike? No, what show is it? PTI, they go to that guy at the end and he corrects all the mistakes that they had throughout the show. He looks up everything.
I think that if we had a guy that corrected our mistakes at the end of the show,
it'd be another hour long.
It would be at least as long as our actual show. Oh, that's sad, but it's true. Let's be honest.
Awesome. Well, welcome back or welcome.
Well, I'm going to find that out, kind of. This history tab is cool. Granted,
Control F.
It doesn't go past 2013.
They're just lost.
They're lost to the sands of time.
Here we go.
Nope. Nothing.
Could be.
So if it was, it was pre-2003.
All right. Up next, our 23rd ranked team.
He's
not. There we go. Our 23rd ranked team is team 2974.
From Marietta, Georgia, Walton High School, it's Walton Robotics. Average qualification score of 101.3, and we're the winners at the Orlando Regional.
1325 has made the... Oh.
I was wondering how long you were going to keep going.
This is just a disaster, man. 2974. Oh, man.
I guess I got confused.
I'm on the wrong slide. 2974 has been waiting to show off their machine and their team in 2015, and when they did, the success they found was as good as it gets. They seeded into second at the tough Orlando Regional and were able to captain the number 2 alliance to the finals and eventually taking down the number 1 alliance.
This team is a confident super stacker and can move tall stacks from the human player to the scoring platform with confidence. The best part is this team clearly gets it. They're able to not only win the event, but picked up the coveted Chairman's Award as well. So,
Kling
Bling,
again,
great robot. I tell you what, I just am so impressed with teams that can take a super stack, 6, container, and noodle, and maneuver it with relative ease. Like the robot's not carrying, this giant monstrosity of a formation. Mm-hmm. I would put 2974 up there with all the other super stackers, 1114, 2056, that make moving these giant stacks look really easy. So congratulations to Walton Robotics. Definitely a top 25 debut here.
Newbie.
So congratulations on your regional win, your regional Chairman's Award, and good luck at Peachtree.
You got it. All right, here we go. Up next, our 22nd team making the list 2 weeks in a row is Team 1241.
From Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, Rickanson Secondary School, it's Theory 6. 46.65 average qualification score, and we're the finalists at the GTR East Regional.
There's no doubt that next week, 1241 will be the most experienced Recycle Rush player in the world, having competed 3 weeks in a row.
Crazy.
Their most recent outing this weekend was an incredible improvement over their Week 2 performance, going from being ranked 33rd to being ranked 5th at the GTR East this past weekend. Did they sleep?
Did they sleep? Probably not.
Probably not. They were scooped up by a team just below them in this week's top 25. Above them? I don't know. 13-25, and there's no shame losing in the finals. This great dual lifting robot will hit the field again at Water,
Lou.
where they will look to improve yet again. Good luck. Can you do it 3 weeks in a row, man?
How do you do that?
That's awesome.
I was dreading when 340 signed up for back-to-back 2 weeks in a row.
Back-to-back Tetris.
This one's back-to-back Recycle Rush. So 1241, one of those kind of few exceptions, having played 2 weeks in a row, that they get to make the list twice. But again, I think just improvement seems to be the theme of this week. And another example of a team being ranked 33rd in week 2 and then being ranked 5th and going to the finals the next week is just awesome. And they don't have much time to improve, really, like the robot, right?
Yeah.
So
that's what I'm saying, yeah.
Maybe they just got a good night's sleep.
So. Very good. Cool, guys. That's Theory 6. Speaking of improvements, that kind of seems to be the theme of our next slide as well.
Hey, look, that's what it starts with.
That's what I'm saying.
I knew it was there. I just...
All right, up next we have Team 1523, our 21st ranked team.
From Jupiter and Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, William T. Dwyer High School and Palm Beach Gardens High School, it's Mars, the Mega Awesome Robotic Systems. Have an average qualification score of 73.95, and we're the finalists at the Orlando Regional.
Very cool. So improvement seems to be the theme this week, as we continue to see with 1523. And as they went unselected for the elimination rounds in week 1, improved almost as much as possible by taking the first overall seed this weekend in Orlando.
The Red and Black machine is a good-looking six-stacker and loads quickly and efficiently from the human player station. Not 100% sure of how the wildcard system unfolded in Orlando, but 1523 is a great machine and should be proud of their season. Congratulations.
Very cool.
It's just one of those things I just don't know if they've qualified for Worlds yet. I wrote that later on somewhere, but we should talk about how the expanded championship is going to play out. Like if it's going to be more wild cards, if teams won't really know if they've qualified yet until later. But 1523. So yeah, how cool is that? I mean, I guess kind of cool, but going unpicked, South Florida, not making elimination rounds at all, to being the number 1 seed and going to the finals. So
that's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Wow, what a turnaround, man. Can you just the deflation of not being picked and then being the number 1 seed? Very cool.
Deflation is a great way to put it.
Yeah.
I can't find chapstick right now. We might have to cancel the whole show. Oh, God.
Oh, no.
Check my jacket.
It's a walkout.
I need show chapstick 1 and 2. I don't have any. That's a bummer.
Is it in your book bag?
Oh, well. And we'll just cancel the show.
I got nothing to offer you, actually. All right.
Chapstick is a big deal.
No!
It's pretty much what I'm saying in my head right now.
Totally. All right. You good?
Nope. Too busy fretting about my chapstick.
All right, here we go. Up our 20th ranked team is Team 744.
From Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Westminster Academy, it's Shark Attack. Average qualification score of 93.38, and we're the winners at the Orlando Regional.
So from one awesome Florida team to the next, Shark Attack is such an awesome robot to watch. They pick up 2 totes at a time, and just 4 trips to the landfill have created 2 stacks of 4 with time to spare to cap with a noodle.
The 2 at a time from the landfill is also extremely valuable, as many teams are designed to load from the human loader. So like to put together that perfect alliance of 2 human loaders or 2 human loading robots and a landfill robot, or 1 human loader. I think there's kind of room depending on who you are for 2 landfill robots. But pretty much you want to avoid 3 human player robots. So Shark Attack is a great example of.
Yeah.
It's really cool. They just kind of go in, lift 2, take the double 2 stack over to the platform, go back, lift 2, put on top of another 2, lift those 2. Done. 2 stacks of 4, just like that. So a great machine, and their season is obviously not yet over, as they've won the Orlando Regional, qualified for World Championship. So it'll be exciting to see them there.
Yeah, two-time team on the top 25 this year. So
Yep. 744
Awesome.
Shark Attack.
and they will be eligible for the end of the season to be on as well.
I was gonna mention that as well. It's worth noting that we will have like a final FRC top 25.
Everyone's eligible. Free for all.
Yeah, exactly. The free for all edition. So keep a lot of these teams in mind. 744 is one that could certainly qualify.
Cool. All right, our 19th ranked team is Team 225.
From York, Pennsylvania, Techfire Robotics of York. It's Techfire. Average qualification score of 98.58, and were the winners of the Springside Chestnut Hill event.
So 225 had to wait a little while before they got a chance to bring their machine to the field, but once they did, you could tell it was primed and ready to go. Many powerhouse teams have struggled early, but in their first match, Techfire put up over 100 points, and it was goodbye from there on out.
They seeded first overall. Nicely done with that, by the way. And even though this game isn't about winning or losing, they went the old school equivalent of undefeated in their matches and their cruise to their district event win. They also picked up Engineering Excellence Award in their start of their season on the top 25. Congrats, guys, and be sure to check them out at Upper Darby in a couple weeks.
Upper Darby.
So can I make a request for the soundboard next? I don't know how difficult it is for you to get
not.
clips for that, but Office episode, okay? When the bat is in the office, do you remember that one?
Yeah.
So once the bat starts flying around, Stanley gets out from his desk, puts his coat around his head, and just says goodbye, and he walks out. So that's what I need. That's what I need for next year. And that's what that goodbye was from. Goodbye. I have it on my phone actually.
Oh, do you really?
Clipped it, yeah. Oh man.
Goodbye.
These are these little goodbye. These are the little brief asides that for me make this show the most fun. It's probably the most annoying for the people watching.
It just shows that we're people.
We are people.
I'm scrolling through this clip. You have it on your phone, you said?
Yeah.
I don't know where it is in this clip.
I think this is it.
This better be good.
Oh, it's not going to be. Come on, play.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Totally. I'll find it. Make it happen.
All right.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Oh, Stanley.
It's classic. Stanley Hudson. Gotta love it.
Did I stutter? All right, so we're avid Seinfeld and Office fans.
We are.
So a lot of it revolves around that. All right, our 18th ranked team, Team 233. Let's pick up like nothing happened.
From Rockledge, Cocoa Beach, Florida. Rockledge, Cocoa Beach, Space Coast, and Viera High School. It's the pink team.
So, go ahead. Sorry.
Is that what it's going to be? Goodbye. Average qualification score of 45.00. We're the finalists at the LMO Regional.
So 233 is another instance of a team that started out a little rough that must have made their success that much sweeter. After going unpicked in Georgia, that's right, unpicked, they turned things around in Alamo. They kept in the number 2 alliance in the finals where they came up a bit short, but if their track record of improvement is any guide, look out for them at Queen City Regional where they will be looking to punch their ticket to the championship event.
Harder or easier to qualify for champs this year? More wild cards, more wait list? What do you think?
Say that again?
Do you think it's harder or easier to qualify for champs this year? Because remember last year or 2 years ago, well, last year and
It was
before,
impossible.
I remember talking a lot about how many great teams, Wave Robotics comes to mind as one of them, who have a great robot and just they didn't qualify for Worlds. And it's just, it seems so strange to not have these teams there. Like we know they're good teams, and just seemed to be. I think what maybe was in back of a lot of people's minds, and maybe they didn't want to necessarily say it, but there are teams that are going to Worlds one way or another that aren't nearly as good as the teams that are being left out. And if we truly want to have a world-class event, the best teams should be there. Mm-hmm. I think the expanded championship will help, but
at the same time, you're also getting teams that's a touchy subject. I know it is.
Yeah, a little bit.
I don't know. They got a wild card, I guess. Somebody said. But yeah, I don't know. But you're right. I mean, that's like a side topic. And I know, like you said, we talked about a couple of years ago. But
so we'll have to keep an eye on that as we go forward.
Okay. Up next, the team we talked about a little bit earlier, Team 2468.
Team 2468 from Austin, Texas. Westlake High School, it's Team Appreciate. Average qualification score of 56.74. And we're the winners of the Alamo Regional.
All right, so one of our favorite teams from last season. I like saying that last season.
Yeah,
because we've been doing this for so long.
That is good.
Walked away from semifinals week 1 at Dallas. However, competing last week, they looked more than a finish with no bling. Finishing with a qualification average score of 76.11, they were the obvious choice for Team 1296, the number 1 ranked team.
These two added 24-15 to their alliance and looked to make some stacks and win some gold. They did just that. Eventually, the quarterfinals and semifinals with ease. Even with a semifinal score of 82, the team looked to take it home in the finals, winning a super close match, 149 to 147. Finals match 1. Only one win separated them from separated Team Appreciate from their first gold this season. In a decisive win, 132 to 58, Team Appreciate won gold and heads to Hub City next week, ready to hit the ground running and looking for some more. Thanks, guys, and welcome to the top 25 this season.
Yes, for sure. So that kind of goes back to your point earlier. Like they had a. Do you still have their sheet up on the lines? But they're one of their semifinal scores was 82.
Yeah.
Their others being down in Alamo.
Oh, 159,
Yeah, so that's what you're saying is like I guess bad matches in quarterfinals really like can hurt you, but a bad match in semifinals doesn't necessarily mean you're out because you take that average of 3. You know, it helps you out there.
Plus at Alamo, like they were far and away the best team. I don't think it was really
right. And people have bad matches, like you said.
Yeah, they had 132. The 2 seed had 107.
And to kind of go, I guess we can talk about it earlier. To go back to your point though, to see the playoffs be back to wins, losses, everything, like. Having a bad match, like that helps you out awesome, but at the same time rewards teams that didn't have a bad match.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Right. It's always
this is the time that to shine, you know. So let's see both sides. But all right, and our last team before the break here, our 16th ranked team is Team 4613.
Oh boy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
4613 from Sydney, Australia.
Mate.
Barker College is the Red Crusade. An average qualifying score of 70 even, and we're the finalists at the Australia Regional.
So competing at the inaugural Land Down Under Regional, 4613 was super stoked to compete for their first time in the motherland. Finishing first, they selected teams 3132 and 5333, the All-Aussie Alliance, to join them in the eliminations.
Fighting hard, they advanced through the quarterfinals and semifinals, looking to take on the number 2 Alliance in the finals. How many times have we seen that this season? A lot. More than in years past, 1 versus 2. Anyways, the Red Crusade lost finals 1, but battled back to win finals 2, but unfortunately lost the finals in match 3, 113 to 104. Awesome job, guys. We hear you have.
We got an email this week.
Yeah, we have a lot of fans over there, and we're fans of you over here. You built a great machine.
Yes. So yeah, we got an email from. Let me pull it up. Just saying that there's some people that from Luan. That he's originally from the U.S., but he moved over there. Just saying that they watch our show and stuff like that. So thanks for the email.
Gotcha. So we have 2 videos to show this week, right?
Yes.
So we have an 842 reveal video that we're going to show right now, correct? Or at this break?
Yeah, we can show them right now.
Do you want to show them both right now, or do you want to save Wave Robotics for the 5 break?
Doesn't matter.
We'll do them both right now.
Yeah, let's do it.
So let's watch the 842 reveal video right now, and then we will talk about it, and then we'll see.
Yeah, so we got 2 videos. Yeah, you said it. Sorry.
That's okay.
Here we go.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
There you go.
Looks like the robot's reeling a marlin on that.
That's cool,
from
right?
the auto.
Very cool, guys. Thanks for sending that in. People haven't said anything in a while, so I don't know what's going on. Hopefully we didn't lose them.
So I think it's also what?
So people haven't said anything in a while, so I don't know what's going on.
Are we alive?
I don't know. Mr. Marbles? Uh-oh.
Oh boy.
Did anybody get you anything? Oh, gotcha. Hello, we're back. Another boring. We missed you guys.
Wow, that video really captured their attention.
They did.
That was awesome. So it's also cool, I think, that the robot for this year is named Mary's Dream because of the work that Mary Mazzio has done with the film Underwater Dreams, which 842 is a big part of. It's brought up many issues about education and poverty, and of course the Dream Act. So that was really cool, kind of to name their robot in honor of her. A great Hall of Fame team and a classy move.
It's pretty cool. I like how they can go along, strafe the step and do the tote set there. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it looks like possibly Team Tether.
Yeah.
So, and I know somebody said it earlier in the chat. They said hashtag Team Active Tether. I don't know. Both robots are doing something. One isn't really static.
Oh, because the string thing, the string theory.
String theory. No, just saying that attaching yourself to a ramp would be passive tether.
Oh,
but active tether would be 148. Who's
Gotcha.
both, you know what I mean, or whatever. But it's kind of cool though. I think it's great. Teams that can stay attached and do whatever. Yeah, motorized versus passive.
All right, so another great machine from 842. You want to look at the next one?
Yeah, let's do it.
So this is a video of Wave Robotics and their robot depth charge.
I guess you could still. Oh, wow. Okay. There we go. Maybe.
Still in that go town.
Hello. We're back.
We never really know.
No.
I don't know if you guys could hear it. The robot's name is Depth Charge, and the first part of the video was
You want
just.
me to play it again? Because something got messed up.
Can you? It was very cool.
Love it.
Stacks on stacks on stacks. So that's a 28-point auto, I think somebody said earlier. Yeah, 28. So thanks both 842 and Wave Robotics for sending in their video. We always like that kind of stuff. So thank you for that. A couple incredible robots that you can check out both this weekend, right?
I would assume so, yeah.
Cool. 842 will be at Arizona. I was going to get that backwards. We're just going to go this way.
Gotcha.
And you can catch out Wave at Wisconsin.
Yep.
All right. So 1 versus 2.
Yes.
What is that?
Oh, I think we touched on it a couple of teams ago. I feel
Oh.
like a lot of 1 versus 2 is happening this year
Like
in the finals.
1 seed versus 2 seed,
Yeah.
1 alliance versus 2 alliance in the finals. Yeah, I think it's just kind of like a nature of the qualification system, right? The best team is typically number 1, which is kind of how it should be. Which is why I like this ranking system so much. So yeah, I think that's cool, and it's kind of what you'd expect to see. It almost makes upsets more. Like, you appreciate the upsets more now, right? Because it's been 1 versus 2, 1 versus 2, 1 versus 2.
Sure.
So now you see a 2 versus 3 or a 1 versus 6, things like that. A 2 versus 6. It makes it a little bit more exciting. All right. So
Yes.
I think we're ready to move on.
Yeah.
I don't want to make this break too long.
No, you checking. Oh,
I was
you
gonna
can check it later.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Our 15th ranked team is Team 1806.
Oh, boy.
Sorry, man.
I was almost ready.
Almost.
From Smithville, Missouri, Smithville High School at SWAT. Qualification average of 96.80, and we're the finalists at the Greater Kansas City Regional.
There we go. During Team Tether, the robots Deep Freeze and Mini Fridge worked like clockwork this past weekend at the Greater Kansas City Regional. Tethered to a ramp from the chute, 1806's robot made stacks quickly and efficiently. Honestly, one of the best chute-fed bots out there. The tote so gracefully enters the robot while it stacks it. You can check out the video on Chief Delphi. They linked it to YouTube. It's really cool. I mean, like, the tote just like goes.
Similar to Wave, right?
Yeah. Doesn't go into the robot.
Oh, it doesn't go through?
Doesn't go through. No, but
Gotcha.
it comes down like.
Oh, you're right.
The
Yep.
ramp.
Sorry.
But they just like it just goes at the right height. They just pick it up. It's just like it's awesome.
So with the second best qualification average in the 54-team field, 1806 was selected by the number 1 seeded 1730. With the help of 1777, the Slides entered the playoffs looking to bring home some gold. Never scoring below 134 in the quarterfinals and semifinals, the Alliance found some great chemistry and was only 2 wins away from gold. However, the Alliance couldn't put up as good numbers in the finals, scoring only 85 and 110 and came away as finalists. They look to punch their ticket next weekend at the Oklahoma Regional. Look for SWAT to hit the ground running and looking for that gold medal.
Yeah.
SWAT.
So team we met a year or two ago, kind
Yeah.
of in person at championship. Great team. Like him a lot. Did you see him down in?
Yeah, Dallas. A few of their
Dallas,
team
yeah.
members were there too. So good stuff. 1806. They've been a mainstay of the top 25.
Yeah. Steady and surely. All right. Up next, we have Team 234.
From Indianapolis, Indiana, Perry Meridian High School at Cyber Blue. Qualifications average score of 83, and we're the winner of the Kokomo City event.
So welcome back to the top 25, Cyber Blue, another powerhouse we've been talking about the past couple weeks from our younger years in first. They look to improve on their quarterfinal finish from the Week 1 Indiana District Indianapolis event when they competed this past weekend at the Indiana District Kokomo City of first event. They went from rank 2 in Week 1 to rank 1 this past week with a QAS of 100.3.
With the lay of the land, they selected teams 135 and 38-65, outscoring all their opponents except once in the quarterfinals and semifinals. The Cyber Blue Kids won finals match 1 and 2 with scores of 142 and 152. Congrats on the win and the District Chairman's Award from Week 1, and a good luck this weekend at the Purdue event. Team 234.
Yeah.
So, Kokomo is Kokomo called the City of First, I assume? Like, is that their nickname? Like Rochester's the Flower City.
Oh.
I'm assuming it is, because why else would they call it that, right? Oh, I didn't want to do that.
Maybe somebody will answer in the chat. City of First. Where does that come from?
It's got to be their motto.
Oh, right there.
Known as the City of First. So wouldn't it be cool if just for this event they found all the signs that said City of First and just like put a piece of tape over the S and it said City of First?
I got you.
Kokomo, the City of First.
They should. They should like brand the city streets and stuff like with different signs and stuff if they haven't already. But
That'd be pretty cool.
like as a promotion thing, you
Right?
nailed it. You got it.
Done.
City of First.
City of First, Kokomo, Indiana.
Thanks, guys. 234, Cyber Blue. Up next, we have team number 2122.
From Boise, Idaho, Treasure Valley Math and Science, it is Team Taters. Average qualification score of 98.5. We're the finalists at the Utah Regional.
So welcome to the 2015 FRC Top 25 to the Team Taters. 21-22 makes their 2015 debut here as the number 13th on the list after their performance at the Utah Regional. Placing third with their 98 QAS, the Taters found themselves ranked third. They would slide up to the captain number 2 seed as the one selected 2. They slid up.
21-22 would end up selecting teams 32-30 and 34-05 to join their alliance. They advanced decisively through quarterfinals and semifinals and ended up having to play the number 1 seed in the finals. The number 2 alliance put up a valiant effort, scoring 164 and 168, but it wasn't enough to beat the strong alliance of 624, 1619, and 43-34.
Good luck to Team Taters. Are they competing anymore this?
I think so. Yep, Arizona.
Sweet.
A couple weeks. So not many events are you going to have 164 and 168 be losing scores.
Right.
Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. Good scores there.
I'd like to see how 624, 1619, 43-34 alliance happens still.
That was like what alliance from last year at Champs? It was the 987 alliance. 987. No, I can't remember.
Looking back at it now, isn't it crazy to think that in 2008, 217, 1114, and 148 all ended up in the same alliance?
Yeah.
Like, how did that happen?
Right.
All right, that was Team Taters, the number 13th ranked team in this week's Top 25. Ready to move on? No? Okay.
Guess not. Could have swore it was last year. 97. Could have been them. 97. Oh, man. Sorry. Let's move on.
All right.
624 in Code Orange? I don't know. Forget it.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, J Scouts got it. That's what I thought. And there was somebody else too, right? Because it wasn't a 4-team alliance. Anyways, our number 12th ranked team is Team 359.
From
Who's not
Waialua,
ready now?
Hawaii. Waialua High School.
Sorry.
It is the Hawaiian Kids. Average qualification score of 65 with the winners of the Inland Empire and Australia Regionals.
With their second stop on their world tour, the Hawaiian Kids made their journey to the land down under to look for their second gold of the year in 2 different countries. Have we said we're jealous recently? I think we say that literally every time we talk about the Hawaiian Kids.
Absolutely.
Anyways, finishing second on the leaderboard, the Hawaiian Kids were passed up or declined, I'm not sure, by first ranked 46-13 and captained their own alliance, selecting 42-53 and 56-01.
Putting up some respectable numbers. Not the greatest we've seen in Riseka Rush, but the Hawaiian Kids made it to the finals, taking it to a decisive third match. They won match 3 with a score of 113 to 104. We got to watch some of the matches, but the word on the street is that were some of the tightest, most exciting matches of Riseka Rush this season. Congratulations to 359. Look to make it 3 for 3 when they return home next weekend at the Hawaii Regional.
I feel like a broken record when we talk about the Hawaiian Kids, but man,
That's okay. They deserve it.
that's awesome.
What were we reading in there that I was going to say? Oh, yeah. So I haven't really paid as much attention to it as maybe I should, but I haven't noticed as many declines this year. Again, probably due to the ranking system, right? The teams that deserve to be up there are the teams that are up there. So we haven't heard nearly as many declines and
That's true.
crazy things happening.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
As well as, let's talk about also due to the lack of defense. I don't know that I've heard of a backup bot being called in yet. So that's kind of another interesting.
I feel like maybe, but maybe not.
So it's 2 things that are kind of like very different kind of so far this year. I mean, for good reason, right? No defense, different ranking system. It kind of makes sense, but just kind of interesting to discuss.
Yeah. Oh, did I jump ahead? I did. All right. We good? Oh, we good.
Oh, we good.
Our 11th ranked team is Team 973.
From Atascadero, California, Atascadero High School, it's the Greybots. Average qualification score of 66.38, and we're the winners of the Los Angeles Regional.
After an early outing at the Inland Empire Regional, leaving the competition in the quarterfinals, the Greybots looked for some vengeance this past weekend at the Los Angeles Regional. Improving on their 4th ranked finish from last weekend, the Greybots finished second with a QAS of 83.67.
They caught the eye of first-ranked 330, the Beach Bots, and the 1-2
duo. Sorry.
Oh, and the 1-2 duo added 15-15 to their alliance for their run at the playoffs. They dominated through quarterfinals and semifinals, and after a 10-point victory in finals match 1, they decisively won finals match 2 with a score of 151 to 73. They were up against a wall to punch their ticket and their great bots to just that. We'll see. Oh, excuse me. We'll see them at the championship event. Congratulations, 973.
Yep. All right, moving on. Our 10th ranked team is. Oh, I'm sorry.
Killing me, man.
I am. I'm sorry.
It's my fault. I'm not prepped.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
Our 10th ranked team is 2852.
From St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada, Dennis Morris Catholic High School. It's DM High Voltage. Average qualification score of 95.30. And the winners, the GTR East Regional.
So DM Voltage enters the Recycle Rush season looking for their first ever regional win. 2852 earned their spot in the leaderboard, finishing second at GTRE East with a qualification average score of 95.3. They finished second only to 2056, who would end up picking them to be partners in the playoffs. They did 37-10 and headed into the playoffs with a plan to take home the gold.
This alliance put up incredible scores in the playoffs, with their lowest being 155 and their highest being 210. Amazing work by this alliance, and we'll get a chance to see DM High Voltage this weekend at Tech Valley.
Really?
Yeah.
Awesome. Very cool. I guess I didn't realize that.
Another team competing back-to-back rush.
Very nice.
Right?
I love it. Way to go.
Thanks.
Fim. So what was I going to say? Oh, first ever. I think
That's
I
awesome.
remember from 2007. First ever win. That's cool.
That's
and
awesome.
being amongst the teams, being from St. Catharines, I know they have a practice facility up there. I don't know if they practice with 1114 and 2056, but man, what an exciting weekend for them.
Yeah.
You know, getting that win up in that, up in Canada where it's so hard sometimes.
Plus, they're coached by a Symbiotics alum, so it's 2056, and so is the third member of their alliance, right? 3710. So
yeah,
that's cool.
Very cool.
So we're into the top 10 here. Or that was the top 10. Now we're in the single digits.
Single digits. Our 9th ranked team is Team 1983.
From Seattle, Washington, Aviation High School, it's Skunkworks Robotics. Average qualification score of 98.04. The winners of the Auburn Mountain View event and winners of the Mount Vernon event.
So coming off a win at the Pacific Northwest District Auburn Mountain View event, Skunkworks was looking for their second gold of the year this past weekend at the Mount Vernon event. For their second consecutive event, 1983 earned the number 1 spot. From their first event to their second, their QAS score went up by over 45 points. It's really awesome to see teams making improvements to get better from competition to competition. Just having that experience like from week to week is also obviously very nice as well.
The really cool thing to see is that 1983 chose 13-18 twice at both events. Both times they were either 5th or 6th. The chemistry between these two teams, and this time adding 46-54, proved too much to beat as they won their their event, decisively in 2 matches in the finals, beating the number 2 seed by over 80 points each time. So a heck of a season so far from Skunkworks, and I think they have one more event to go. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. Oh, maybe not. So you'll see them next at the Pacific Northwest District Championship.
Yeah.
So is it that? Is the chat that far behind?
Yeah, but see Aaron's post here about that wasn't too far behind, and that was like not too far after we said it. So I think people's just buffering.
Is the chat live and everyone's like cast is different?
Oh, I guess so. Yeah, I think so.
Interesting.
Yeah, I just think however whenever people tune in. So.
All right. So that was number 9.
Yeah.
Skunkworks.
Moving on to number 10, we have. I'm sorry. Move on to number other way. Moving on to number 8, we have team number 1519.
From Milford, New Hampshire, Milford area homeschoolers, it's Mechanical Mayhem. Average qualification score of 113.25. And we're the winners of the Granite State and Dartmouth events.
Coming off their New England District Granite State event win, the Mechanical Mayhem and their unique toe-grabbing stacking design took the field at the UMass Dartmouth event this past weekend in the New England District. The tote set and auto, followed by stacking totes from the landfill zone, proved to be successful yet again. They finished first a couple weekends ago with a QAS of 90.42, and this past weekend they finished first again, this time with a QAS of 136. Almost a 50-point improvement. Incredible.
Improvement again. Hashtag improvement. 1519 chose 230 and 4908 to compete within the playoffs. They scored over 121 points in the playoffs, and its high is 181. 1519 competes again one more time before the district champs at the New England District event in Northern University. Awesome job this year, guys, and look forward to watching you go forward playing Recycle Rush.
Yeah, man. Because that improvement, hashtag, you can really practice if you have a practice spot. I mean, that's something you can keep practicing and just kind of get in that rhythm match to match. You can really just improve, obviously.
Hashtag improvement.
Hashtag improvement. Needs to be a shirt.
It does.
All the drama's in the 2 spot.
All the drums in the 2 spot. That shirt needed to be completed.
Be on my list this week. All right, let's moving on. A couple more teams. Take a break. Our 7th ranked team is 1296.
From Rockwall, Texas. Rockwall High School, it's Full Metal Jackets. Average qualification score of 67.95. And we're the winners of the Alamo Regional.
After an early outing in the semis of the Dallas Regional, 1296 looked for some redemption this past weekend at the Alamo Regional. A part of Team Tether, the Full Metal Jackets are super fun to watch. Stackling mostly 4, but up to 6. Half of their bot stays at the feeder station making stacks, while the other half takes them and replaces them on the platform. Do you remember seeing them?
I do.
Maybe you can add on. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Relying on others to place recycling containers, this strategy may not seem ideal to many, but proved to be the strategy to beat as they finished first with a qualification average score of 92, selecting 2468, Team Appreciate, and 2415, the Wired Cats. The Alliance fought hard in the playoffs and won the regional, punching their ticket on their second of 3 regionals. They compete again next weekend at Oklahoma. The pressure is off as they look to get their second gold of the year.
Yeah, for sure.
So they didn't look that, no offense to them, they just didn't look as good at Dallas as they certainly did at Alamo. So just kind of that hashtag improvement thing that we've been talking about, clearly evident here. In 1296, making the list at number 7 is awesome.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I was watching, one of their videos on YouTube, man. It's just really cool. Team Tether, hashtag. All right. Our 6th ranked team.
Oh, no.
That
was my fault. That one was
It is 1619.
from Longmont, Colorado. Career Development Center, it's Upper Creek Robotics. Average qualification score of 115.30, and the winners of the Utah Regional.
They have lightning round. I don't want to shortchange one of the teams, but yeah, it's number 1619
Upper Creek Robotics.
This Upper Creek took us to the Utah Regional this past weekend. I don't feel like talking about fast, but
I agree. Many can't feel lots as I want.
All right, competing for the first time this season, Upper Creek took the field at the Utah Regional this past weekend. 1619 competed hard and finished second with a 115.3 QAS. They also finished with an impressive 480 container score. This impressive finish caught the eye of the number 1 seeded and week 1 winner, 624.
Upper Creek, Kryptonite, and the Berta Tech Alliance cleaned up in the playoffs, scoring on average 178 points. They never scored below 164 and as high as 202. Great chemistry and strategy proved too much to beat as the number 1 alliance won in 2 matches in the finals. Congrats, guys, and good luck in a couple of weeks at the Colorado Regional, 1619. Upper Creek
Never
Robotics.
scored below 164. Average of 178 in the playoffs. Very cool.
I love their team name, too. Upper Creek Robotics.
Who doesn't?
Playoffs?
Don't talk about playoffs. Playoffs? Are you kidding me?
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me?
Playoffs?
Playoffs?
I just hope we can win a game. Another one.
All right.
That whole rant is so good.
Oh my! It is.
I don't care who you play. It could be a junior college team, a college team, much less an NFL team. You turn the ball over 5 times,
NFL
4 for touchdowns. Not going to be any of the teams I just talked about. It's pitiful. Absolutely pitiful to perform like that. Oh, Jim Mora. Classic. Classic. All right. So we're at our final break here.
Yeah, here we go.
I'm going to check the text line.
How you doing, man? Anything else we wanted to button up from our earlier conversations?
Playoffs.
Are you kidding me?
Playoffs?
So Justin and I will be attending the Tech Valley Regional this weekend with 340. I forgot. If you're going to be there, feel free to say hi and hello. We'd love to meet you and chat. I don't know if anybody from 4852 will be there, but if you do, please. I'm sorry, 2852 will be there. Definitely come on up and say hi.
Libby will be there, so we're not going to get any attention.
What's that?
I said Libby will be there, so we're not going to get any attention.
No.
No.
Hashtag peasants.
Right?
Hashtag no chairs for us. Hashtag. Anything come in?
So what do you think about the Q&A banning giving teams items such as ramps, and then that decision being reversed and the game manual update?
Can you explain that?
So somebody in the Q&A or somebody Q&A'd, can you give a ramp, right, to an alliance partner. And the Q&A said no. And then the game manager come out and said yes. So I think overall, I think the final decision is good, right? I think that creative gameplay shouldn't be discouraged, and I think that the whole ramp tethered to your alliance partner is creative gameplay and should be encouraged. So I'm glad. I'm not surprised. I mean, like we said at the start of the show, right, we're people too, right? So is the game design committee. So they're not always going to be on the same page with everyone. It's not a small group of people. So, I'm sure it was just a small miscommunication there.
Well, and I mean, maybe in years past, where teams would like strap noodles and stuff to teams, robots, stuff like that.
Right.
That's nothing new to attach a competitive advantage or new system or whatever to a robot. I mean, you have to get re-inspected and re-sized, re-weighed or whatever. But, that's kind of how it's gone in the past. So maybe, yeah, like you said, everybody's people. We're all people.
I don't know who this person is, but they're a fan of the show.
What'd they say?
I hope you have enough chairs at Tech Valley. Because of Libby.
Oh, I wonder
in
whose
her
number it
chairs.
is. Yeah. What a great picture that is.
So, good question from the same person. Although it is early in the season, would you say that 11-14's dominance this year is comparable to 254 in 2014? I think 11-14's dominance this year is more impressive, just because I feel like 254, I think it's tough to compare because the games are different. But I think Symbotics just can take the entire game, and you could try to defend against 254 in past years, but there's really not much you can do to stop Symbotics. It's just an incredible machine that they've built. And even if you look at last year with the Cheesy Poofs, right, they lost 16 matches. They lost twice at Central Valley. They lost twice at Waterloo. So, I mean, granted, they won every event that they went
16? To. No, I don't think that's
16 matches overall.
No, I think that includes like Cheesy Champs.
Oh, Cheesy Champs. Well, still,
yeah,
these regionals. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think 254's machine was absolutely incredible last year, and I think that Symbotics is incredible this year. I just think that Symbotics can choke the game a little bit more so this year than Cheesy Poofs could last year. Both robots are equally incredible, but I think that Symbotics is going to win the world championship. So, and so did Cheesy Poofs last year. So we'll see how it goes. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's something we'll revisit.
Yeah, but it's Beaker is saying too. I mean, a lot of it rides in those recycling containers too, man.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to get those. Cool. Thanks for the question. I'm assuming it's Dodar because he also sent it in the chat as well. Anything else in there? This was a great idea.
Wow, the text
I like
line?
our text line. Love it.
Yeah, the text line is awesome.
So Gerard from 341 says, how do you compile the top 25 teams? We don't assess them on anything. We do it purely by votes. You can vote on FRC Top 25. .com/vote weekly. And it's just basically teams vote for the number one team gets 25 points, the number two team gets 24 points, and so on and so forth all the way down. That goes into a massive spreadsheet that Pat Flynn makes and gets tallied and stuff like that. That's basically how it goes.
So have you ever heard of the word jank?
No.
So when I was in Texas for the Dallas Regional, it was very, very commonly used, right? Like people used it very freely, and it just is interesting to me. Like it kind of means like a little sketchy, maybe just not quite maybe the highest quality, but like people use it all the time. So I just thought it was funny that like that. It just means like kind of sketchy, right? Kind of, yeah. So this person texted, is hashtag Team Jank Tether going to be a new thing? So it was just interesting that because I just didn't know if it was like a Southern thing or how that goes because I had never heard it before.
Interesting.
Right?
Oh, he's not my boyfriend.
Interesting.
Janky equals wonky.
Right. Yeah. I just had never heard it before. Wonky. That's a good one too.
Cool. All right. I guess that's it. We can stick around after the show too. After we say goodbye. All these kids. You know who we haven't heard from this evening? Lavelle.
Lavelle. Dude.
Oh well.
Where is Lavelle? Where's all of our 340 kids?
Don't know.
Hopefully doing
Sleeping?
some pre-scouting for Tech Valley. All right. So after a good janky discussion there.
We're already applying what we learned.
I'm trying.
Well, here we go. Our 5 through 4 through 1. 5 through 1.
Is it 5 through 1?
It is, man. We're there.
Dude,
It's almost a 2-hour show. It's incredible.
It's pretty much how we, you know, for a show that doesn't keep any strict time, obviously, we're always
about 10, 15 minutes.
yeah,
Like,
we're always on
10.
that 2-hour mark.
Yeah, we are. So. All right, here we go. Our 5th ranked team is team number 1023.
From Temperance, Michigan, Bedford Senior High School, it's Bedford Express. 84.13 is their qualification average score, and they are a district winner at the Southfield event as well as the Woodhaven event in
FIM. Coming off the double gold Kling Bling performance at the First in Michigan District Southfield event, 1023 picked up right where they left off this past weekend at the FIM District Woodhaven event.
Nice.
Making stacks from the landfill, Bedford Express had a QAS of 115.25, finishing first.
With 30 other teams to choose from, 1023 selected 3605 and 4405 and entered the playoffs looking for their second gold of the year. 1023 and company outscored the other alliance every match by at least 14 points, smallest to 100 point difference in one match. Not that it matters anyway, but this alliance showed that they were a team to beat. It was 1 versus 3 in the finals, and outscoring the number 3 alliance by scores of 72 and 83. 1023 earned their second district win of the year.
Outscoring the number 3 alliance.
Yeah.
The difference in scores were 72 and 83 points.
Gotcha.
I was just reiterating. I know you said it right, but as we talked about a couple of weeks ago, 1023 now heads into their home event with 3 gold medals on the year. Not that the pressure is off, as Michigan is always competitive, but they're in a great position headed into their last district event before district championships.
Absolutely.
Wow, 3 gold medals, man. 2 for 2. Chairman's Award. Well done.
And like you said, man, Michigan is not easy. So, like, you know, having consistent success there means you really, truly have a great machine.
Yep. Checking them out. I know we got a lot of a lot of people are mentioning Bedford a lot, so I'm excited to see them compete a little bit more, watch some more matches of them, and it's just hard to catch up on all these teams, but
Yeah.
really making some great impressions out there.
I just think that the best teams, and I think 1023 is a good example, are just teams that they're not doing anything necessarily flashy, right? Just have a good, solid intake, consistent stacker, and can control the stacks well. That's really the most important thing. And 1023 is a great example of that. So congratulations to them, and good luck going forward.
Oh, and this is something we can talk about. I know. I'll put it in. Sorry. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Our 4th ranked team is team number 1713.
From Lee's Summit, Missouri, Lee's Summit Senior High School, it's team driven. Average qualification score of 126.30, and we're the regional finalists at the Greater Kansas City Regional.
Okay, so 1730, team driven, no stranger to the top 25. They make their impressive debut in the 2015 top 25 at the 4th spot, competing fiercely at the Greater Kansas City Regional this past weekend. Team driven finished first with a QAS score of 126.3. They made the logical choice of picking 1806 SWAT, who we talked about earlier, and with the help of 1777, formed a solid plan heading into the playoffs.
Cruising through quarterfinals and semifinals, Driven puts the pedal to the metal, good spelling of metal too, and put up scores ranging from 134 to 153. However, what?
Didn't mean to.
Yeah, but it worked out.
Okay.
Get it? Right?
I did.
Pedal to the metal? We're there, man. Goodbye. However, all came to a halt in the finals as their scores of 85 and 110 weren't enough to take down the Blue Lions. They did snag some silver, Kling Bling. Sorry. Winning the Engineering Inspiration Award. They compete again next week at the Colorado Regional, looking to add... Oh, looking to add some gold to their stash this year. Oh, man. I haven't had I haven't had a good on-air laughing fit in like 2 years.
Oh man. Oh boy, here it goes. Oh boy.
I'm tired. Can you go back to that slide for a second?
Which one?
The team-driven one. So snag some silver cling bling winning the Engineering Inspiration Award. They compete again next weekend at Colorado, looking to add some gold to their stats for this year. Team 1730, team-driven.
You want me to go back to it?
Did you mean that? I don't know if it was like a silver thing. I don't know.
I don't know.
Kind of read it ahead and laughed.
They did snag some silver cling bling. That's what I meant to say.
Right, I know that. I knew that was supposed to be cling, but I didn't know if the S was like kind of like part of the silver thing.
Silver sling bling.
Sling bling.
I don't know.
Ooh, sorry about that. Super
That's quite all
professional.
right.
Super professional. As you can tell, we take our
Jobs,
our professionalism very seriously.
our hobby. Oh man, sorry guys. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Okay, there we go. So that's it, man. Right? 2 left.
3 left.
Oh,
Getting ahead of yourself, buddy.
all right. Our third ranked team is team. Oh man, it's been too late. Third ranked team is team number 330.
From Hermosa Beach, California, Hope Chapel Academy, it's the Beach Bots. Average qualification score of 93.56, and we're the winners of the Los Angeles Regional.
So as we talked about last week was 67 and 234 a little bit earlier. 330 is one of those teams when we both first started first was a powerhouse. Looking to add on to their legacy, the Beach Bots entered the Recycle Rush season and competed this past weekend at the Los Angeles Regional. Thinking outside the box with their strategy, the 330 machine was definitely something to watch. Grabbing an unassisted container set in auto, they gently lay the 3 recycling containers down in auto and work on stacks of 6 totes and tele-op.
They take these 2 stacks and set them short side to side next to each other on the step. Then they go back and grab the 3 recycling containers and place them on the 2 stacks. Perfect example of reading what's not in the rules. They finished first with a QS of just under 95 and selected teams 973 and 1515. In the playoffs, they never scored below 136 and brought home the gold in 2 finals matches. They look to make it 2 for 2 on the year when they compete again next weekend at the Ventura Regional. Talk about ingenuity.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I mean, like I said, it's not obviously a strategy that too many people are doing right now. And, what's not in the rules doesn't mean it's illegal, know? And it's just so cool to watch that robot, man. Lifting 3 recycling containers up high, just the weight that's up there and everything. It's really, really awesome.
Yep. Another well-designed machine from the Beach Bots.
They do, man. They just think outside the box a lot. And it's pretty cool. Very awesome. Well done, guys. So I just wanted to talk about maybe on this last little quick break before we talked about number 2 and number 1, because all the drama's in the 2 spot, is just the progression of gameplay. Just things you see going from week to week. And this year, obviously, is the increased use of rams, tethered rams in eliminations, picking a team that you can tether a ram to. The other thing, and maybe I don't know if I just didn't see it much in the first couple of weeks, but definitely noticed more this last week, is people noodling containers over like the middle wall.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've noticed kind of the same thing, but the first few teams to say like, hey, we can feed our robot, over the middle. It doesn't have to be in those side zones. I think It's just really not creative, but it's just not what everybody thinks of first, and so I just think it's cool. And then once one or a couple teams start doing it, then more and more teams do it, so it's the fight to be what's going to be original next, what's the next step,
it would be kind of cool that it'd be kind of cool that Frank kind of think at the end of the season and talk to him about some of these things that I just always wonder if the game design committee, for lack of a better way, if they're as smart as the first teams, if they were able to predict that this kind of stuff would happen, did they ever think that?
What week teams will start using?
Yeah, or like even if team tether, if that was even a thing. I'm sure that one they thought of, but how about teams tethering other parts of their robot with a piece of rope, like things like that end up happening. I always wonder if they ever even thought of that as a possibility and how much they're able to predict beforehand. So it'd be cool to have Frank on maybe at the end of the season and ask him some of those questions.
I have to change the audio, so hang on just 1 second. Oh boy. Hello.
Goodbye.
Okay. Goodbye. So here's just to kind of go back to 3:30, man. That's just so cool. Look at that. I think you guys can all see that and hear us at the same time. But that's just so cool to see. Look, I mean, just 3 containers, 3 noodled, going up on 2 6 stacks.
Yep. That's really cool.
Cool shot.
Good picture.
Yeah, it was good. That's cool. Very cool. All right, so all the drama's in the true spot. We got 2 teams left.
So this is the point we thank everybody for watching, sticking with us, even though we're kind of a disaster at times, but that's okay. We think that's what makes it fun.
We're people.
We're people, right?
We're
Goodbye.
I can't sing that song, the Dunder Mifflin song.
People, persons, paper, people.
There you go.
Cool. Yeah, so
Well,
thanks for sticking around. We're a little late. Thanks for letting us eat on air. Not that you have a whole lot of control over it, but you could stop watching or at least mute us.
Could.
Maybe you did.
Maybe
I don't
some
know.
people did. We don't know because they might be gone.
Apologize for that.
But we'll be back next week, 9-ish.
Yeah, we're people. Like we both worked all day.
Yeah.
So getting everything ready for tonight was a challenge. Not to be all woe is me, but we just kind of have to deal with life, which is new for both of us. Like having
We're both adults now. It's
Yeah,
crazy, man.
Sucks.
Both out of school.
Don't grow up. It's the worst.
And the best.
Oh, it's the best. And the worst. All right, so we'll be competing with Team 340 this weekend at Tech Valley. So like Mike said, if you see us, come say hi. Kind of be in competition mode a little bit, but we like saying hi to people and
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
meeting people who are kind of putting a face behind the screen names that we see in the chat.
Crabby people.
What?
We're crabby people.
I don't know.
I don't get it. No, I lost it.
Goodbye. All right, ready when you are, man.
Let's do it. Our second ranked team through week 3 is team number 624.
From Katy, Texas, Cinco Ranch High School, it's Kryptonite. Average qualification score of 87.5 with the winners of the Dallas Regional and Utah Regional.
Coming off their win at the Dallas Regional, Kryptonite looked to make it 2 for 2 on this year. This past weekend at the Utah Regional, competing week 1 sometimes has few benefits, but the early experience to the FRC game is one of them. And 624 cashed in on it at Utah, finishing first, 624 at a QAS of 124, and selected 16-19, and our friends from the north, 43-34, the Alberta Tech Alliance, to run out their alliance for the playoffs.
Continuing where they left off, making tote sets in auto and making stacks with containers in teleop. 624 and company never scored below 164 and broke the 200 mark with a score of 202. Congrats on the dominating performance so far this year, guys, and good luck at Lone Star. 320 competition points in 8 matches. That's wild.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
It's like 8 matches out of their... I don't know. How many did they play?
At Utah? 10.
8 out of 10, they scored competition.
Yeah. Look at their auto score. Like I mentioned that earlier, too. It's like 320 competition, 164 auto. Nobody could touch that. I mean, they're 6 times higher than anyone else. So, really impressive. 624. Kryptonite.
Sweet deal. Good job, guys. Congratulations. Looking forward to seeing you at Lone Star, man. Another one. Looking to make it 3 for 3. And here it is. The number one.
Who could it be?
I have no clue.
I have no idea.
No idea. Our number 1 ranked team is team number 2056.
From Stony Creek, Ontario, Canada, Orchard Park Secondary School, it's OP Robotics.
That's how you say it. So All Eyes were in the north as one of the last few powerhouse teams in FRC made their debut. 2056, trying to keep their consecutive regional streak alive, looked to make it 20 wins in a row. I mean, stop and think about that for a second. 20 regional wins in a row they're going for. They have 19. They had 19 currently. They have not lost a regional in their team history, which began in 2007. I know we talk about it a lot, like, oh, this regional streak. That's impressive.
It's
Pretty dang
unmatched.
pretty dang impressive.
I think when and if the streak ever comes to an end, I don't think it'll ever happen again.
Never.
Never again. It's just going to be...
It's just insane to think
is.
about.
It's going to be talked about
20
forever.
blue banners just in regional wins. Or 19.
Sequential.
Maybe. Yeah, right? So 2056 makes a tote set in auto and attacks the landfill and Teliat, making stacks of 6. They have a pretty creative design of uprighting recycling container if it's on its side. They kind of just like slam their grabber down and then like pinch it and then back up and it like uprights it and then they can grab it. It's pretty cool.
Crazy. Only scoring below 100 once in the qualification round, 2056 finished atop the class at GTR East. They finished with a qualification average score of 124.5. They selected number 2 ranked DM High Voltage, 2852, as well as 3710, and excelled through the playoffs. Their average score was 184 in the playoffs, making it look easy, playoffs, and taking home the win. 20 wins in a row. Is a number one robot sticker in
Could be.
their future.
Man,
Or is
they've
it
been
gonna be
plagued.
number 2?
They've
Yeah.
been plagued the past couple of years by the number 2. Man.
So for those of you that don't know, each year at championship, when we have our final top 25, we give out robot stickers to the top 25 teams at championships. They can put them on the robot. It says FRC top 25, number 1, number 2, blah 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 in the year. So it's kind of been a cool thing that we've done for a while. Is it 2 or 3 years in a row?
I don't know. Is it you got it right there?
This is just week 6. I don't know if that's the finals.
I think that is. Because they are. Look, they're number 2.
Number 2 to Symbotics there. Number 2 to the Cheesy Poofs there.
And we don't know.
And that our history is really kind of poor then, isn't it? And kind of there. So at least 2 years in a row, we've had to give
2056.
Holtzman the number 2 robot sticker. And the funny part was that in 2012, he made such a big deal about it being the number 2 sticker.
2013, yeah.
Yeah, and then we had to do it again.
Yeah.
So it was just
that fate, like looking at him looking at us. Being
we knew what was coming. But regardless, 2056, another incredible
great
robot.
question. If Ontario switches to districts, would it be considered undefeated in regional wins forever?
Oh, they might be the biggest proponent of district events ever. Get rid of the regionals.
They could just keep it going though.
What?
Event
winner, yeah.
event winners in
But
a row.
It'll be different. That's cool though. 2056, number 1 for week 3.
Very cool. Congratulations, guys. Obviously, great robot you have. Well done. It kind of goes back. Remember the video they showed with Stan?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of highlighting Stan.
Yeah.
First off, that was an awesome video. It was really cool. Loved watching it. Second, did anybody else kind of look for little hints of what the robot was in that video?
Yeah, right.
They had a ton of totes. I don't know if that was a hint
Yeah.
because of the, but yeah, I think we were all looking for just little hints in there of what they had. But
So the question becomes, do you think that 2056 and 1114 will play well together in Waterloo?
interesting.
Because let's be interesting. So let's be honest, they're probably going to be on the same lines, right? I don't think any of those anybody else is able to stop both of
2056
those.
does. Oh, go ahead.
I don't think many other teams there have a chance to keep both 1114 and 2056 from seeding number 1. So assuming they're going to pair together at Waterloo like they've done in the past few years, do you think they'll play well together? Symbotics has a ramp, so they're not completely dependent on the
2056
landfill.
has a ramp too, and they go from the landfill, and then usually the couple of matches I saw, the last stack they would get from their ramp, and they would do it from there.
So do you think at Waterloo we're going to see our first dual tether? So one robot is holding the tether for this ramp, and because 1114, 2056 can't hold their own ramps, right? Ideally, so they'd have to tether both to one robot.
Interesting.
Oh,
Maybe
so it
we
might be
just,
a CR.
we just blew this case wide open.
So we might see our first dual tether situation at Waterloo.
Yeah, right. Your third robot, you attach both ramps to.
I think 1676 is going to Waterloo. Yeah, they are. It's okay.
Interesting.
Sorry, Ryan. I didn't mean to. But let's be real, right?
That would be the way to go.
They're just incredible.
And then you could just feed I don't know, they can maybe clear the ramp totes pretty quickly, but they could take all the totes from one ramp, turn around, grab all the totes from the other ramp, turn around, grab the totes from the other ramp, while the other one grabs, I would assume, 1114 from the landfill, because I think they do it a little bit more efficiently than 2056 does, but you never know.
So it'll be interesting to see. Like Dodar just mentioned, both have to be, they're light enough, right? The one robot has to be light enough to get inspected with both ramps. So
it's kind of a big process there, but
I'm almost kind of afraid that of what's.
Or is one ramp enough?
Yeah, true, right? One ramps. Whew. I don't know. Is he talking about us?
I guess so. We are both a first alumni. And
how does that work? When are you an alumni? Do you have to be out of first to be an alumni, or just not on a team anymore? I don't understand.
That's true. I think you're just out of high school alumni. You're out of.
So you're no longer a student.
Right, you're alumnus.
Okay. Yes, we are both first alumni of First Team 340. And I also mentor Team 3015, Ranger Robotics from Spencer Park, New York.
Okay. I'm tired.
You and me both, buddy.
Go back to work tomorrow. So do you.
In the words of Stanley Hudson, goodbye. Well, thanks everybody for watching. We certainly appreciate
Yeah,
that.
guys. Thank you so much.
I guess I'll put out our weekly plea of, well, I guess first off, if you're competing this weekend, good luck. If you see anything cool this weekend, let us know. Send us an email. You can even send us a text, really.
That's true.
We won't see it until probably we open up Tuckatone. Maybe
Yeah, we don't get
Monday.
the push notifications.
Yeah, turn it off. But any text you send will be there when we open up on Monday to kind of see where things are going. So if you see anything cool, email, text, tweet, Facebook message, do whatever you need to do. If something cool is going on, we'd like to hear about it.
I meant to do this during when we talked about the Greater Kansas City Regional, but thanks to Caitlin Brailsford for the information on the Greater Kansas City Regional this past weekend. I know they had a great time there, and she gave us like a really cool email about it. So thank you.
That's what it's all about. Because honestly, like we say every week, as much as we'd love to be everywhere, we obviously can't. So we really depend on people.
If somebody wants to do kind of like what we do, but for the regional that they were at or whatever, you can kind of send us a little write up, and we can read, right from that one. So I guess we'll have Spider up and watching Waterloo this weekend too. Huh? See what goes on up there.
Yeah, no kidding. All right. Well,
Cool.
I think that's it. I'm ready for bed.
Me too. Thanks, guys. We will see you next week. Same time.
Same time,
Ish.
same time. Yeah.
Same place.
Plus or,
same time.
plus or minus a half hour, we'll say.
Sounds good, guys. Well, thank you very much. We will be hanging out for a couple minutes here afterwards. But if not, we'll see you next week.
Yep. Good night.